maybe we can talk about it another time.
I can give you a brief overview.
Y'all sit together at dinner.
One of the math days, I only did it in math days because they're the only ones who completed it. It started out that they would earn $2, so I'd hand them $2 during their warm-up that they would keep on their desk during the class. And we had decided as a class what kinds of things were they going to be allowed to earn money for and lose money for. Yeah, that's the dollar. My friend designed it for me, so.
It was just like George.
Right?
Looks just like George.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, me and George are brothers. And so Math 8, one of their SOLs was to be able to balance a checkbook. So they each had a checkbook, and I personalized it in the sample class. That's not our classroom number. Our classroom number is 825, but I did this over winter break before I knew where my classroom was. But so at the end of the week, I would tell them, okay, I would post, you earned or you lost this much money based on the different things, like you were misbehaving, so you lost $10 because you can't throw chairs at people, and like, you know, so that didn't happen. But
That escalated quickly. Elsie?
there's a lot of other things that happened in that class. It was kind of scandalous. But yeah, and so then they could put, okay, I earned money this week, I can put that in, or like it could lose money or something like that. But then every 2 weeks we have this store, and so once they completed their work on Thursday, they got it. It started out as like they would just come and buy things from me, but it turned into this really scary mob, and I didn't like that very much. So I switched to the order form, so I didn't overbuy anything, and it was just a very calm, here's my order form. Plus, if I said, okay, you can have your order form as soon as you get your work for the day done, they would get their work done, and those, like, some of them is the only day of the week they did any of their work. So they're like, oh, I get my order form. And I'm like, but you only have $1 in your account, so do your work the other days, maybe you have more. But so then they come, they mark what they want, and now there's lots of inflation going on here, but I did put this on here for a reason. This is what it started with. I had way too much stuff on the list. So then we fine-tuned it, and they did pick what kinds of things they like to go to buy. They could buy gift cards at the top if they wanted to, but like, I think it was like 500% markup. And I said that, and then they were like, why is everything 5 times as expensive as it costs you to buy it? I'm like, well, that's what markup means, but you didn't learn that.
Take over that $1.
You need to give me $1.
So then what happened was we had this one miraculous day after the SOL when they were just so far past the point of doing work. And I was like, all right, we're going to do magic squares. It's a nice problem-solving activity. For every magic square that you complete as a 3x3, I'll give you $5. For every 4x4 you do, I'll give you $10. If you do a 5x5, I'll give you $15. So these kids do it, and some of them earned like $60. And so, you know, after they're like, Miss Ammo, you are going to be so broke when you buy all this stuff for us. And I'm like, yeah, but do you know what happens when suddenly all the members of a society suddenly have lots of money and...
Oh, you marked it up.
So, I felt bad. I had one kid who didn't save it. He didn't buy anything from the store like any of the other times. He was waiting for the last day so he could buy a really expensive gift card. But the gift card prices, he had $176. His gift card prices went from here, it was $125 for a $25 gift card. And on the last day, it went up to $200 for a $25 gift card. So if he had just bought like 2 weeks earlier, he could have. He could have actually.
Welcome to the real world.
Learn
to
life.
Yeah.
You don't play with the market.
No, you don't. Especially when I am the market god and I have control of it. So, yeah. So he.
Wait, so question.
Yeah.
Did you actually like keep track of how much money you gave out versus how much like?
Yeah, I had an extensive spreadsheet. They had how much they earned in cash. They would write their name on the back of the dollar. So, like, where'd my stack of money go?
We took it.
We'd like one secret cake, please.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do something like this. Like, okay, Dean, keep 2 in front of you for now. Okay. All right. So I would be like, all right. So that was a fantastic question. There's $1 for you. That was awesome. And then Stanley, thanks for coming up and presenting that problem on the board. That was really cool. So it was really a good way for me to reinforce it. But then, say Dean was being a jerk to somebody, right? I go to the board and write Dean's name and say, Dean, you're losing your $2 for today because you were flicking her in the head. And that's wrong.
And I get your $2.
Right, but I
stuck up with you.
Right? So what it did is it kind of added a contingency. There was the class contingency is that people didn't want people to lose money because if they got like $10, if nobody lost any money. And they actually started to respond, which was kind of cool. So, yeah, it was sweet. It wasn't that expensive because some of them were just like,
So you're bribing your students, is what you're saying.
yeah, yeah, it is. But they had to write checks. They had to have a balanced checkbook. So they learned that without me having to teach it to them. I mean, we talked about it when we first did this, but yeah, their favorite day of the week was, I had one kid, he was so good at math that he'd say, you know, I couldn't remember why I was excited to come to math today, and then I remembered it was the store, and I was like, oh, I'm actually excited to come to math. And I'm like, so it wasn't to do math though. He's like, no, I just wanted gummy bears. You know what? That's what we did.
That's right.
So, yeah.
I think I'd rather
So the second half wasn't as well prepared because I thought about the first half more because I was going to cut the second half. But does anyone have any questions about how I made this operate? The extensive spreadsheets, they would have like, you earned $2 in cash that day from participating, and then.
See you at dinner. We're gonna talk.
But then like, you know, like if I saw one kid was helping someone, I'd be like, okay, like there's a bonus 10. I didn't hand that to you in cash because there wasn't $10 in cash sitting on your desk, but like I gave that to you when I was kind of like, I took a note of it and I gave that to you. But then it's like behavior. It would be like, you lost $6 because you, I don't know, there's all kinds of bad things they did. But I put a little note of what they did, and what I do is I post that for the week. How much did you earn total from behavior loss? How much did you earn in cash? How much bonus did you earn? And then I would post that at the end of each week, so they could see, they could kind of track how their behavior was affecting how much money they were earning and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you know how much you spent for the entire thing?
I don't want to think about it.
One thing that you could do, and I kind of do a similar circular economy, but now we use little dollars in the base.
Yeah.
You could do an auction, so you could buy 2 or 3 things every 2 weeks, and then have the kids do bidding for it, and that's what we do in our group, and that limits the amount of stuff that I have to buy, and it just makes things a little bit less expensive.
Yeah. The one thing that I was trying to do was to get them to write the checks a lot, and so that's why like that's a really good idea. As long as I'm not trying to hit that SOL, that's probably something.
Yeah, just a thought to save your wallet a little bit.
Yeah, well, this is I will only be re-implementing this if it's like a necessity, because it was, this with the quick quizzes, actually my class ended up getting themselves under control and actually being able to place to